If you want to play with your buttons while we're talking, you just get down into
Just
them.
go play with
Just
those
get
buttons.
in those buttons.
The government is copywriting all the names, and I can't.
Someone has copyrighted Goodish.
90 seconds. Time crunch. Makes me nervous.
So if we're going to have sex in the pool, now will be the time. Quick, ready?
It would be the fastest.
Well.
Maybe not ever.
Hey, it's another episode of the Very Goodish Meredith and Steve channel. My name is Steve Blanchard.
And my name is Meredith Inglesby.
Thank you. I didn't cut you off this time.
That was nice.
We had such a great time last time, and you all were so sweet watching the episode. We encourage you to send it to all your friends. Shameless promotion.
Yes, shameless promotion. Please subscribe, and please hit the notification bell if you haven't already, so you know when the next episode drops. If you hit that little notification bell, then you'll be notified.
Here are just some of the lovely comments from the last episode. Would you like to hear them?
Yes, I would. I would like to respond to them.
It's Fabu10, Mr. Scooter Hale's partner. This is such a very goodish, positive show. My husband, Scooter Hale, told me about it, and I'm very thankful he did. Can't wait. Matt in OKC, miss you madly. Miss you madly, dude.
Miss you.
Lauren, this is iconic. OMG.
Iconic, everyone.
Mr.
Iconic.
Mr. Chris Malione says, Stevie B, great episode. Who was your favorite dressing room mate while touring Europe in Phantom? Who also starred in the show? I wonder who it would be.
Chris.
We have to do an episode of the travels all over Europe with the Phantom of the Opera.
Yes, he did that.
Scott Scooter Hale says, this is great, so happy, love you both. We moved to Orlando, and during the shutdown, we need more entertainment like this. Thank you so much, brubba.
We'll do what we can.
And Maureen.
Brought to you by Kava.
And right on cue, Marlene, my dear friend from high school, says, you guys are so awesome. Looking forward to a future episode. And this comment brought to you by French 75 with a twist.
Marlene.
Love it, Marlene. DD, my old friend DD, this is fabulous. Plus Wayne, can't wait for more. Love me some DD.
Ooh, you're gonna love who's
Pammy,
on this one too. Ooh, it's a good one.
Pemmy Mizell Land, oh my goodness, such a good thing to hear you and Steve and Wayne banter. Yes, yes, and yes. Tom Goff, what an incredible fun. Sound effects are cracking him up. Sound effects are my idea. Thank you very much. I do have one every century. And now, Jane McAuliffe, come up to Charleston and see us. Love Jane. And Adrian Anderson. Can't wait for the next goodish episode. Love you,
birthday,
A.
sister.
Anthony Bruno, OMG. Yes. Hi, guys.
Hello, bro.
Nicholas Dramard, you guys are awesome. Thanks, dude. And of course, CT. She says, fallopian fans.
Fallopian fans, and I cannot take credit for that because that is that fallopian fan was told to me by another YouTuber named Kate the Great Beauty is her YouTube channel.
We'll put a link.
Amazing. We'll put a link.
Yep.
Kate the Great. I cannot take credit for the fallopian fan because she named it that. It isn't actually called that on Amazon. It should be because it looks like fallopian. You know what I mean. So anyway, yeah, you could get that. You could get that on Amazon. This is what it looks like. We'll link it. We'll link it. We also want to talk about something we're really super excited about because this episode is also brought to you by a very special product. Our dear friends, the Pigots, gave us these beautiful coffees.
Chelsea and Dean.
Chelsea and Deaton gave us these gorgeous tectonic coffee. They sent these to us, and we are so grateful because we have had it all. It's gone. Chelsea, if you want to send some more, better yet, we'll buy it to support your company.
We were supposed to do the testimonial after we introduced the product.
But here's the product. It's gone because it's so damn good. Tectonic coffee, y'all.
It's really good.
delicious.
Dude,
It's based out of LA.
It is so good.
This couple who own the company and run the company, Chelsea Morganstock Piggott and Deaton Piggott, own the Tectonic Coffee. He's from Australia. She's from California. And they, obviously, everybody's having a hard time right now, especially small businesses. So if you would like some really,
it's so good,
really
it's
good
so
coffee,
good.
and I'm not saying this because they're friends, it's actually some of the best coffee I've ever had in my life.
And here's the thing, since I'm a coffee maker in the morning, I used very little of it because I wanted to see the taste. I didn't want to overwhelm myself with strong coffee because I love strong coffee.
He does. He likes tar coffee.
I barely used any of it, and it created such a rich flavor, not only in the light roast, but also the dark roast, a rich flavor that was so off the chart.
They gave us two different kinds, light roast and Ethiopian, and they were both very different and really great.
Really good.
Like, we're big coffee people.
Not bitter.
Nope.
Not overwhelmingly strong. Super smooth.
Super balanced.
Go for it.
Yeah, get it.
Run, don't walk.
And
Tectonic Coffee.
We're going to put everything in the description box down below. We're going to list all of their Instagram. They're at on Instagram and Twitter. It's at Tectonic_coffee, and Facebook Tectonic Coffee Company. But we're going to list everything down below. So go check it out and check out their website. And you can email them at orders@tectoniccoffee.com. Again, I'll list all that. But I'm telling you, if you're a coffee lover, run, don't walk.
Yeah, run, don't walk.
So
it's really good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chelsea Deaton. All right, so without any further ado, we have a special guest, plural,
some really good ones
this episode, and we hope you'll enjoy it. And I hope everyone out there is doing fabulously well with their coronavirus needs.
Fabulously goodish.
We hope everyone is out there as goodish as we are.
Yes.
And with that said, cheers.
Enjoy.
Welcome our friends, the Busfields. Hello, we are with the amazing, the delicious, the remarkable, the beautiful couple, Melissa Gilbert and Timothy Busfield. How are you?
Hello, my darlings. You are two of our favorite humans on the planet, so we really are excited you're here with us today.
Oh,
they love is self-communicative. Those that have it get it from others, and they just keep going back and forth. So we love you more than you love us.
for sure. Miles more.
Seriously, these two humans are not only wonderful, kind, amazing humans and dear, dear friends, they are supremely talented, and everybody knows who you are.
And supremely loving.
And
most
supremely
important.
loving. And that's why we want you here and want your wisdom. We want you to impart your wisdom to us and to all who might be listening or watching or whatever. But they have an amazing podcast right now called Gilbert and Busfield, right?
Yep.
Gilbert and Busfield podcast.
It's on Spotify. It's on Apple. It's on
wherever you
everywhere.
pod.
Libsyn.
You can pod and you can find
You
it.
can park, and we're right
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
It's brilliant.
And you guys have a producer now and everything? You're fancy.
Ew.
Yeah, there was somebody that Melissa done a lot of drugs with about 30 years ago. Just found their way into her life and couldn't get rid of him, so we gave him a job. As often happens
That's a little bit accurate.
with
Convenience.
It's halfway accurate.
when I'm done with the podcast, I don't know if you can tell, I'm just spent. I'm so exhausted from the 35 minutes of talking to my wife, which
Mic drop.
That's it for the week. That's all we talk. There's right there.
We
in the
don't
podcast.
communicate at all when we're
I
not
need to-
podcasting.
I need to nap, and so Josh does the work and
Because we
gets it
don't.
out.
No, I hear you, brother. I got you. So you guys are in upstate right now. You're up in the country, yeah?
We're in the bush belt up here in the Catskills.
We're up where Melissa's grandfather.
Yeah, with bears and nightclubs and there used to be. My grandfather was in the started out as a stand-up comic up here and then became a writer. And my dad performed up here at all the hotels and stuff too.
Yeah.
So there's a history. My godparents, Mitzi McCall and Charlie, were up here. Sorry about that sound. I don't know how to turn off the notifications on my computer.
Well, it was drama. It was my godparents.
Where Woodstock was in Bethel Woods is about 20 minutes from our
20 minutes.
house.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really cool up here. Very wild.
Yes, I know. We're waiting for the invitation.
So, yeah.
Wait a second.
No, you've already given it. We just couldn't come.
We came up March 13th because COVID
Sure.
and figured, okay, well, at least we have this place to hang out. How long can it be? And here we are still. And we've now built the chicken run, the chicken coop, the electric fence around the chicken, keep the bears away, the garden. We planted the garden. We're harvesting in the garden now.
And to keep the bears out, because we're not in a neighborhood, we planted T-posts, and then we ran electrical wire and put it into a little box. And now we have a little electric fence that we know the bear and the deer have sampled and
Nice.
said we're good.
Later.
Thanks a lot.
See ya.
They're not worth it. My tongue,
once.
the feeling will come back, right?
The hair will grow back. I promise.
The bear was back the other day, but in the front yard eating the deer corn that Melissa throws out.
I was really moved by what y'all were actually saying on your podcast, which was very profound and very poignant and meaningful. And the underlying theme I kept hearing was based on your spiritual practice and your mindfulness practice and your consciousness practice. And I kind of want to just hear more about that for you and what that has been for you, and going into how we can help people in our industry find that practice on a regular basis, and what it looks like for you during COVID and just in general. Is that too broad a question?
I believe that for me, at least, how you start that day has a major influence on how I end the day.
Amen.
And I've had, heard from an elderly gentleman who I've just always loved and admired, a guy named Darwin Shaw, who's no longer with us, but we were both connected to an Eastern master that I sort of started following in 1977. And he would say, that how you start the day really will dictate a lot of your day. If you start that day and you give way to hate, or you give way to fear, or you give way to the jealous feelings that can manifest and grow so quickly, or if you can find a way to find some calm in the morning, some peace, whatever is that happy place that gets you to, we have a chance now. Because of the pandemic, so many people, because we're not up and off to work, we're not up and off to school, we have the kids, absolutely, but we could put a movie on the TV and still take a minute to kind of think, basically, good thoughts, good words, and good deeds. Good thoughts, good words, good deeds. It's not attached to a religion or any money. There's no gimmick to it. Just start your day with good thoughts, and when the bad thoughts come in, just fight and just do your best to say, no, I'm going to drill. And Melissa has, since I'm, the second we were together and waking up with her that first morning and then hearing classical music come on and the theme to Chocolat and so much, I was like, okay, that's great. And then the next day, classical music and the theme to Chocolat and well, I must have Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young this morning.
Not till 10.
Not gonna happen.
Not till 10.
Nope.
And that's her routine, and she'll read. She reads from the Tao.
The Tao of Joy every day.
Man.
Best book ever. I don't know if you
baby.
guys. I have that book. I had that book on tour when we were on tour. It was by my bedside. It's a daily meditation, and I love it. So it's I read it to the point where it fell apart. I had to get a new one.
Lao Tzu, baby. Old Lao knew what the hell he was talking about.
Oh, wow. This is
Wow.
I do this one every morning. It's so good. Mark Nepo.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's
backwards.
great.
It might be backwards, but the book of Awakening, Mark Nepo, is so good. It's got it's
I
a
love it.
dated.
Great.
You get one a day, and it's I love stuff like that. Like it's
Now, this is by a Buddhist follower of the Tao who takes a lesson on a daily basis with a meditation and a thought for the day. So it's just each day to kind of just center yourself. And by the way, and I'm going to steal an old AA theme, For me, it's not about spiritual perfection ever. It's just spiritual progress. There's no such thing. So, when I would start doing stuff like this, I always had to be the best one.
Yeah.
Because it's,
That's what we were taught as girls in our society. You have to be the best at what you do, or it's not worth doing. Don't even show up if you're not perfect at it.
Right.
I was going to be the best meditator. I was going to be the very best spiritual follower. I was going to be the best at, whatever it was I tackled, and it just doesn't work. It's the opposite of what you're supposed to do.
That's why we named this channel the Goodish Channel, because nothing's great, nothing's perfect. It's just goodish. We're doing our best here. That's it.
I love that. I think,
Goodish.
an Eastern philosopher once said that there is no bad.
Yeah.
There's good and lesser levels of good.
Goodish.
That's what he said. He said there's no stop thinking
Goodish.
bad. It just isn't there. Just because you didn't get it, what you wanted, you make it bad.
Yeah.
Just because it makes you upset, then you call it bad. Now, there are atrocities that go on out there. Absolutely. But there's development in those atrocities and a chance to grow from those atrocities. Trying to avoid atrocities or trying to avoid calamity is impossible.
It's impossible. Life is going to put challenges in front of you always, and it's always about how you respond, how you grow, what you learn. I mean, I think that was a huge realization for me in my sort of awakening into a more conscious state of being, is that you are in charge of your thoughts. Like, your thoughts are not facts.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as you stay present, whatever comes at you, and he taught me this, actually, you taught me this really early on in our relationship. I was more of an anxious person, and he would say, whatever happens, we can handle it. Whatever comes our way. Isn't that what am I paraphrasing dreadfully?
Exactly. My father taught me that. Yeah.
His father taught him that. Whatever comes your way, you can handle it. It's not a big deal.
When you look back, don't you find that the moments of the greatest growth in your life are the moments where you've had to overcome calamity or something horrible?
Where everything was going crazy around me, and I became I grew so much out of that.
That's why.
And the best thing we can teach our kids.
That's why you can never get it wrong and you can never get it done, because you're constantly tuning. You're tuning, you're adjusting, you're calibrating, and whatever you got going on, you're just on your path. You're on your journey. You're constantly tuning your signal of vibration, and there's no right or wrong. Mm-hmm. What I was going to say a second ago was there are tremendous amounts of things that are going well in this world. And there are a tremendous amount of things that are not going well in this world. But you have the choice to what you look at and what you focus upon. And if you focus on the tremendous amount of bad in the world, you're only going to get more of bad things coming to you. Now, sometimes I'm called the ostrich sticking his head in the sand, but it's what I believe. You can never get to the bottom of anything because we are infinite. Therefore, our thoughts are infinite and the universe is infinite. So there is no bottom. No. There is no bottom.
And this is what you were saying in your podcast about we're all one, but we do need to look out for each other. We do need to look out for each other, especially like with the Black Lives Matter right now. It is our duty as privileged white people to speak for them, to be a voice for them right now, and not hear them complaining or talking about what's been going on to them, but educating ourselves and speaking for them right now and being an advocate and an ally for them. And it's been really an unbelievable time learning how ignorant I have been and how guilty I have been without meaning to or knowing it, but just, it's been, I apologize profusely to every one of my Black friends for my ignorance. And I want to continue this conversation and want to educate other white privileged people that I know about. And here's the thing, you were saying we are one, but it's not the same thing as saying all lives matter. That is a separate, total thing. It's not the same thing. Of course, all lives matter.
Especially in America. In other countries that didn't have slavery, that didn't ship the Africans in and then make them slaves, they're much more integrated in a lot of those countries where you might see that isn't an issue as much. It's there. It's
The
always
country started with a systemic racist problem.
Now we see the holding on, the white knuckling of racism. You can see where it is. It's not subtle like it once was.
Yeah.
You can see the skinhead. You can see that what they look like. You can look in the eyes of those people that are screaming profoundly racist things, and you don't want those eyes. You don't want that life. You don't want that form. You look and you say, I don't want that form. Is unappealing. It's really unattractive.
And it's brought to the surface now. Like we're really, like you said, really seeing
all the things that were under the rock.
Which is good.
Themselves.
Shining the light on the things that are awful that we want to get rid of. Yeah, it's a good thing that it's been brought to the surface. Yeah. I'm excited about it because it's like giving it the opportunity to be seen and disposed of.
Yeah.
Which is what you do with any kind of infection.
Yeah.
You got to see it and know it's there to treat it and make it go away.
Yeah, take that.
And racism is an infection.
Yeah. And we could seriously, in 4 years, have a woman, African-American woman president.
I know.
We're one step closer, yeah.
He literally said that last night. He was like,
we're one step closer.
And we just went, Kamala Harris. And we were like, oh. And I was like, and she's black. And he was like, is she a lesbian? That would be even better. You know, it was like
Biden said that the other day. He said he wants a cabinet and administration, he said earlier on, that looks like the country.
Yes.
He wants something that represents the country.
Sure.
Gay, straight, white, black, brown, whatever it is. Let's have all of that. Realize that's our world.
You know,
our world is all of that.
Justin Trudeau did it in Canada. His cabinet was all multicultural, multi-gendered, multi-sexual preferences, different ages. He found the best people for the jobs.
Canada's always a little ahead of us.
Yeah.
A lot of ahead of us.
Yeah.
We also, I wrote the question down. Hold on, we're going to edit.
She's so well prepared.
So prepared. Professional.
She's so well prepared. I'm a winger. Let's wing it.
Keep winging.
Just like Party Gnarly Barn to happen. I'm winging it.
Can we tell the Party Gnarly Barn to happen story?
I think Melissa has to tell it.
Okay, we have to tell, yes, but we have to also tell the background of how we know each other and how this relationship started.
How we fell in love. All of us fell in love. And then we were in Minneapolis, where Steve and I first were working on the Little House musical at the Guthrie, and then like a year or a year and a half later, we all went on tour with the musical version of Little House on the Prairie.
Steve's birthday.
Okay.
And you're
with a 2-show day.
Yes.
Okay. We are in, I don't know where the hell we were, what city we were in. God. Bear's in the show, Steve's in the show, I'm in the show, and the show opens with a song, and then the next thing that happens, there's dialogue.
After the first show and before the second show.
Steven's birthday.
I think it was at Paper Mill, wasn't it?
No, I think it was
Into the Road.
It's Steven's birthday.
Yeah, so it was December.
He might have had a little bit of hops.
He might have had a little bit of the couple brews with
couple of beers.
Maybe at dinner, yes. In between, I had my equity one, and
then you're SAG after one.
Really a thing. You're allowed one cocktail between shows.
Quality insurance one.
And then I had one for Ralph's Supermarket, and then maybe I had.
No, I think it was two. Man, one or two.
One for the father, one for the son.
Whatever. Anyway, so the musical starts,
and it's going really well. And then there's this moment before this huge number that introduces the entire company, where Steven and I are across the stage from one another.
We're playing Ma and Pa Ingalls, just so everybody knows what's happening here.
And how does the dialogue go?
I'm going to paraphrase the dialogue because I don't remember exactly my line. But I say, if you work hard and put your mind to it, and then he says across the stage, it's pretty nearly bound to happen.
That was the line that was supposed to be said.
Yes. So I said, if you work hard and you put your mind to it, and I looked across the stage and Steve said, it's party gnarly barn to happen.
And the music starts for your song, right?
Then I have to start the song. So now I look at him and he goes, And
Oh no, I didn't flinch. I did not flinch.
No, you did.
Like-
Wait, I was you.
it was like a half second of, and I went, now this is my first musical in my life, you guys, and I had to start the song, which I'd done number of times, but no one told me how to do that while I was laughing.
Oh my
I
God.
don't know how to, I can sing and cry, but I couldn't sing and laugh. So, and I have to go down to center stage at 0 and go here, we'll put the window, and then sing, and then it becomes a duet, and then the kids come in, and it becomes a trio, quartet, quintet, and the whole company comes
The
out.
kids were gone.
They were gone.
I looked to the kids for help. They're done.
They're done. They're gone.
It was
Literally
Alessa and
every
Kara.
cast member who walked on stage in the ensemble, I tried to make eye contact with, like, please be my lifeboat. And they were all, everyone was laughing.
Because we were in the wings waiting to come on. We heard the whole thing and we were like, oh no.
Gone. Okay, so we were going over another story, preparing for this, and we were talking about the first day of rehearsal at the Guthrie, and I rode my motorcycle from New York to the Guthrie, and I didn't wear a visor. I had a half helmet and just sunglasses. So I came in.
His hair was wild and long, beard.
We had been emailing and talking and so forth before rehearsals, so we knew each other a little bit. But when I walked in with my raccoon eyes,
Because it's sunburned.
sunburn all over the face, and I had hit several bugs at 75 miles an hour.
June bugs.
So my nose was all scratched up and bloody and scabby, and my hair was out to here.
Walks in, probably didn't wash or do anything. You just drove your motorcycle up to and just came in.
And what did you think when I walked in the room?
He's tall and kind of like
this cocktail's delicious.
Kind of.
he's a little messy.
I think what you said was, this is my pa? Like, this is Michael Landon? What? Like,
Look at Michael Landon.
wow.
Anyway.
He looked rough. He showed me a picture. He sent me a picture, and it was like June bug scabs and like giant raccoon eyes and bright blood red
It's
sunburned
like a
face.
little bit of a leprosy.
What kind of bike? What'd you have? What'd you drive?
I had a Harley V-Rod, 06 V-Rod.
And how big is that? Is that 1,300?
No.
It's smallish.
It's probably about 1,100.
1,100?
Yeah. Enough to get me in trouble.
Yeah.
I miss it. So much.
Cool. I bet. I can't have one either.
Yeah.
Yeah. I drive my own.
Oh, I saw the head shake.
Yeah, I go, look, no, keep driving. But it's for sale. Keep driving.
So I remember 2012 or 13 maybe, when I was in full green makeup at the Globe doing the Grinchy Grinch, and we were talking, Skyping or texting or something, and Snap, you said, I have just met the most adorable man who makes me laugh more than anything in the world, and I think I'm in love with him.
We were so happy to hear that. You had been through a rough few years.
Just a little bit.
You came right on time, Timmy.
Boy, no kidding.
Yeah,
It was perfect.
It's been great. It's been absolutely amazing. We've been everywhere and lived in 3 different states and North Carolina. We were there for 6 months or whatever, doing a series, and had a place in Chicago.
Yeah.
And maybe like 5
We lived
states
in
that
Albuquerque for a while.
we've spent a bunch of time in, and got to know each other, and it's just been a honeymoon. I know I can't do any better. This is it. And I look, and we spend so much of our life going, but what about that? And what about that over there? And it's like, at the end of the day, she's the nicest person I've ever met. She's the most kind person I've ever met. She's the best lover I've ever had.
Tell us more.
She's
Awesome.
talented. She's the best acting partner I've ever had. So in every way, and also a great thing that, we really never talk about, Melissa's kids with Boxleitner, with Bruce, and one's 40 now, with Lee and Sam,
Right.
and her other 2 boys, Dakota and Michael. Those are all 4 brothers. There is no half brother. There is no step-brotherish thing anywhere. That they have that opportunity. With Dakota could be a stepbrother. Michael is a half-brother. Yet her example, and I so fell in love when I saw this, is that she was a great stepmom. She said, hey, I'm absolutely going to embrace you as my own. And there is no eliminating them. Birthdays for everybody, no invites for these two, and then not for those two. And I was so in love with that. And I fell so in love with that. So
I don't want to excuse bad behavior from adults and step-parents or whatever parents or anybody around children. But oftentimes that sort of petty thing that happens is coming from a person who's basically a hurt little kid inside, and so they don't know how to be loving. They can only be jealous and competitive. It's taking attention away from them. I can't tell you how many times I've experienced the person in a relationship, if from wherever I am, either as a kid or an adult or my friends' parents or whatever, but the new wife, the new husband, the new whomever being threatened by their partner's kids because it takes their attention away.
Because they haven't dealt with their own childhood trauma.
Yep.
Right.
They haven't addressed it.
It's not an excuse. It's an explanation.
Right.
Then, in my mind's eye, I think, well, you, the one who is the parent then in this couple, really needs to rethink what they're doing to their kids.
We have not trained for decades now. We have not made the theater important to our children and the younger audiences. We've neglected our elementary school, junior highs, and high school kids with the quality of theater, which is inspirational.
Right.
And now it's no longer a need for anybody except for the COVID target crowd of 50 and above are the ones that I've been keeping the American theater alive for the most part. And we've done nothing to develop the younger audience other than in a token way. We're going to give away a certain amount of seats to Hamilton or a Broadway show, but we just haven't been doing enough. And so the American theater, which has not been vital to anybody pretty much except for those performing in it, which we are going to need to come back to something. The question is, where are we going to get that out? We have to perform. Like you guys with this, we have our podcast, but it's in our bones to perform. And the question is where, not, and how. But what's going to happen is we're going to have to shoot the plays we're in. You're going to have to mount a show, and then you're going to have to shoot it, which means those shows are going to have to be original, which we're going to force playwrights and screenwriters to become one. We won't have a playwright who leaves the theater to go be a screenwriter.
And
those writers will have to be both.
I'm seeing a lot of people doing that, like getting really creative because they have to out of necessity.
I also think there is going to be a lot of value placed on couples and families who work together.
Yeah.
Because it's much safer and easier for us to play and you to play romantic leads than it is to bring in someone that you have to keep testing all the time. And
so you're going to see SAG or AFTRA or whatever, AGVA or whatever, you're going to have to see it coming together. Equity will eventually say, everybody now is going to fall in. You have an option of falling in under SAG just because we don't have a pension plan anymore. And in truth, it's time to break the divide. It's time to shoot the plays. The hundreds of minor league theaters across the country.
Right.
Our theater in Sacramento is in not great shape. We have the money that came in. That money's not going to last us long. Jeff's got money in the bank, but for how long? 16,000 school districts in the country. And if the professionals would just, the kids, they can watch pro baseball. They can watch pro soccer from 5 and 6 and 7. They could, but they can't watch what we do. Getting you guys, I will call on you guys if you would. I'd love for you to come in for the song part especially and really say to these kids, great, why that song? And let's do it again. And I always give the kids a second chance. You do it twice. But somehow, why is that? Why that choice for your song? How do you get a part? And what song do you pick that best showcases yourself? I don't know how that I can teach them the monologues, but I'm going to need other pros. And by doing that, if we can infiltrate the school districts, the 16,000 school districts across the country with professionals in the theater, because they're still going to do theater. They need to do it. They're ready to do Into the Woods, and every musical written 30 years ago and 40 years ago and 100 years ago, they have on their docket. But if we just put a little bit of time, the professionals out there, especially that have a process in their mind about how we do what we do, I think we can make the theater really much more fun, and it will rebound.
Snap, real quick, is your secret project any closer to going?
It's a little bit closer, but it's still a secret.
It's secret.
Well, let's not talk about
We're
it.
not
It's
going to
secret.
talk about it.
It's one step closer, but still
All right.
not.
Love
All right, we'll talk about it another time.
Melissa saw the movie based on a book.
Oh!
Really darn to happen.
Gnarly barn to happen.
Y'all, thank
So
you
wait,
so much.
one more question. What would you tell a young theater person starting out in this business based on all this cray-cray COVID? Are we even going to have a theater industry or film industry after all this? What would you tell them? What would be your advice to give them?
Write, produce, direct, and act in your own material as if you were a rock band. Get 4 people you love that you trust, weed them out. If you get 4 and you don't like any of them, go get 3 other ones, go get them until you have a band and you have your own music. And from there, write and improvise. Trust in improvisation. Learn story structure, beginning, middle, and an end. Be very aware of the end of the second act in every good story. That moment when Indiana Jones has a monkey on his shoulder and a bottle of tequila in his hand, and he's lost the girl and he's lost the ark. That's the moment when we stand up and say, hey, we can win this thing. And it's in every great story. It's most in everything. And make your own stuff. Do not count on other people's money. Do not count. And if you do a good enough job, the Beatles infuriated everybody in their Liverpool, John's neighborhood, because John's aunt let him practice in their garage. And everybody from 15 on said, those guys have got to go. We hate them. And they wrote 100 songs before they had a hit, but there were 4 of them. And nobody was able to tell them what to do forever. And they created the greatest band in all the land. The Stones, all great theater, Steppenwolf. We have to go back to ensemble, bubble performances. Don't give up. And then shoot it, and then take it on the road live. Do it in front yards, backyards, garages, drive-ins, anywhere. Don't wait for money and a theater. There's no time.
There's no more networking.
Make your own
either.
content.
Don't wait till you make the right contacts. There is no more. It's done. No network.
And you need to get the bad out. So many young artists think that they do a play and they get the applause and everybody tells them they did a great job. So they think they're ready for New York or LA.
These, by the way, are the kids who are in the 4-hour Annie.
Yeah, they think I'm ready to go, or at Michigan State, I'm ready to go. Well, you're not. I'm just sorry, you're not. You can be 22 and you can be the best actor in your college, but Ryan Gosling, who came up with as a Mickey Mouse guy, or Melissa Gilbert at 22, they're going to get the parts. And the reason they're going to get the parts is that they don't care if they get the part. They're going to audition and they're going to say, hire me or don't hire me. And they're going to be an infinitely better audition. And the people are going to trust in them that they're going to give a better performance. So really, really important that you get it out. You need to do 100 plays. You need to do 100 little skits. Once you get those there, then we get better. And I know I'm preaching to the choir with you guys. Thank you for say it to the kids, because I don't know if anybody's done more Broadway performances that I know than you, Steve. So,
Well, it's not only that, it's schlepping all across the world for 40 years, doing play after play after play. I never had time to go to an acting class because I never stopped working. And it was the best training I could possibly have.
doing it. You got to do it.
Just
Do
get
it.
up and do it.
Yep.
Listen, by the way, Tim, I will go toe to toe with you on the tiny cell phone acting.
Yeah, buddy,
Oh, he's so
Oh my
good.
God, that cracked me up on the last podcast. I can be the greatest actor in the world
when my face is the size of my that nail, that thing right there, I'm Olivier. And I know it. I know it. So, if they can get smaller, and on a flip phone, I'm Meryl Streep, man. I know it. I watch myself and I'm thinking, I can't tell what I'm doing, and I can hear me, so I'm good.
I'm good. I'm so good. I'm good.
Yep. Bing bang bong.
Bing bang bong, goulet. Thank you all so much. You guys are wonderful.
Thank you for having us. Thank
This
you.
was great fun.
We love you.
Great. We love you. We miss you.
We miss you so much.
Wait until we can hug each other and sit down in a restaurant.
Love it.
Can't wait. We love you guys. Thank you
Love
for
y'all.
Love your show.
Thank you so much, guys. Oh my gosh, that was so
Oh my God,
awesome.
I love them so much. I can't even take it.
I
can't even take it.
Love them.
I can't take how much I love them. They're the
Uh,
most wonderful humans individually, and as a couple, they're just even better. And it's just, we're just grateful to have wonderful friends like that.
Miss Gilbert and I were obviously friends first, and then when Tim Buss came into the mix, he is
The perfect balance.
perfect balance, and together they are just liquid love. I'm sorry that I forgot to ask Tim to do his
Juilliard bow. The Juilliard bow. Okay, we're gonna have to get him on for like an encore performance to do the Juilliard bow.
Juilliard bow,
Yeah.
and some other stuff, but we'll save that for a later episode.
Yes.
He's a funny dude, and they're both so genuine and so sweet. I love them dearly. They're also so generous.
They're everything.
So generous.
They're just everything.
And we adore them.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you all.
Thank you. And can everybody just stay healthy and be kind to each other and do your best and be as goodish as you can.
Yeah. Be as good as you can. We're all in it together, baby.
Yep.
I love y'all.
Love
Cheers.
you. Cheers.
Here's the goodish.
Hey.